Hey everybody, it's Benita. I know it's been a minute since I made a video. I just been dealing with a few things, and now I just feel like just put it all in God's hands. Whatever is gonna be, gonna be. But yeah, so today is Mother's Day. I want to start out by saying Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, and stepmothers, the bonus moms, grandmothers, aunties, because sometimes aunties are like bonus moms. So, sisters, all of you guys, I want to say Happy Mother's Day to anyone that has ever birthed a child, carried a child, been pregnant with a child. Happy Mother's Day to you. Today was a little difficult for me, but I did make a choice. I started last night preparing myself for it. And so I was like, okay, I'm not going to be sad this Mother's Day. You guys know my mom and my daughter are both gone. So, and my daughter, I'm going to always miss her, probably grieve her until I see her again. So, I'll tell you about something funny happened later. But so last night I started preparing myself. So I said, you know what? I'm going to install my wig. So I installed my own wig. To me, I did good. Now, to a hairdresser or stylist, you might say, well, it don't look that good to me, but it looked good to me. So I did my own wig. The only thing I'm concerned about is that little piece right there, but nevertheless, I did it. So I decided last night, I said, you know what? Even though I'm not really gung-ho about tomorrow, I decided I wasn't going to be sad today. So it did take me a little while to get out of bed. But once I got out of bed, I got my shower, got dressed, and then I ran to Aldi's. I was actually trying to find some chips that one of my love bugs showed me she had on Facebook. And we have a love for all things pickles, okay? Anything with pickles in it, we down with it, okay? So, but I couldn't find those at first, but then I found some similar to it, but it's not the one she had. They did have these, but it's not what she had. So I'm gonna try these and see what they do. But and maybe they had the other ones. Maybe they, I might have to go back and look again. But I did get those. Those are ranch, fried pickle ranch flavor. So anyhow, so Mother's Day has been going good for me so far. What happened, my phone died a while ago, so I had to get a new phone. And unfortunately, when my contacts were transferred over, not all of them transferred. So, people were texting and calling me, and I was like, Happy Mother's Day to you too, but it was... I didn't know I was talking to men because their numbers were no longer in my phone. So, so I was just doing what I normally do. If somebody say Happy Mother's Day, I'm like, same to you, with my little hearts and stuff. And then they'll call and say, hey, this me. I ain't no mother. Oh, sorry. Sorry. But, so I finally every time someone calls or texts, then I'm able to get their number, saved back to my phone. So that was funny. But I'm doing okay. I did get a call. I'm going to tell you about this one, then I'm going to tell you about the funny situation. I got a call from someone, and they said, they was like, I was looking at your GoFundMe thing, and on there it says that you're homeless and da-da-da-da-da. And then they said, well, I was riding somewhere and I saw homeless people sleeping on the sidewalk, under bridges, on benches and stuff like that. And so they said, maybe you shouldn't say you're homeless. Maybe you should say you're displaced and not homeless, because then they start going into all this, people think people are scamming, da-da-da-da. And I said, let me stop you. I said, are you going where I think you're going with this? Are you basing how I look on what my situation actually is. Well, I mean, people, no, I've never heard anybody say that before. You just called me and said it. So are we talking about people's opinion, or are we talking about your specific opinion? At that time, I'm sure the person didn't mean any harm, but I was highly upset. Like, I have been transparent with my entire journey. 12 years, brain tumors. All of that. Why would I now get to a place and start lying? You know what I'm saying? Or trying to scheme or scam. So he made this whole argument about that. And I started to cry, not because it hurt my feelings, but because I was angry. I'm one of those people, when I get angry, I'll cry, because I'm just that angry. I'm offended, I'm hurt, or whatever. But I can still talk when I'm angry, talk just like I'm talking. But when I go silent on you, that's when you should worry about me the most. So it was going on and on and on, and I'm like, I've never tried to hide the truth about my situation, to the point where I needed to scam anybody. And I'm also not going to allow myself to look like everything I'm going through, because if that was the case, I'd look like death, just about. We're talking about 12 years of living with 2 different types of brain tumors, and then January 18th of this year, I lost my home because I just couldn't keep up the payments anymore. The rent went up $2,200, all that kind of stuff. And so for someone to assume just because I look a certain way that my stories or my story is not authentic, I don't know what to say. I know what I want to say, but I don't know what people want me to say. I just want to say the hell with all y'all, because why would I put myself in a situation to where I have to make up things to make it seem like, I'm doing so bad that it caused me to have need of a GoFundMe. I had the GoFundMe page up long before I lost my house. I had the GoFundMe page up because I was still getting sick and still having to go through surgeries and still having to deal with the brain tumors and still having to have radiation. I'm still in treatment. It's not like I'm just, whatever. But by the same token, I absolutely refuse to allow myself to go down looking like what I'm going through. I'm going to fight it all the way. I have to fight that. I have to fight depression and anxiety. I have to fight a whole lot of stuff that I might not look like, And so my question to that individual was, so you're saying that I would be more believable if I was sleeping under the bridge, if I was sleeping on the bench, if I was sleeping on the sidewalk? Are you saying I'll be more believable? Then I could say I'm homeless? He said, well, maybe you should say you displaced. That's not what displacement is. Displacement is one thing. Homeless means you're no longer with a home. That's what it means. Before people come for me in those areas, I really wish people would educate themselves, because you have uneducated people, uninformed people trying to tell me how to live in my shoes that I have to live in 24/7. No one comes to, there is no knight on a white horse coming to save me. You understand what I'm saying? Every day I have to make a conscious choice to get up and keep fighting. Every day. It's part 2. So when I hear someone say that, I don't look like I'm homeless, or I don't look like I'm sick or anything like that, that's because that's not my confession. My confession of faith is that I'm healed. My confession of faith is that I'm whole. My confession of faith is that I'm going to get a new home. Those are my confession of faith. My confession of faith is that I have a kind heart. I have a forgiving heart. People do all kinds of stuff. Yeah, I do. I have to get that, Kimmy. Don't get me wrong about that. Because if you hurt me intentionally, there is a part of me, I'm going to wait, and wait. And then when you think all is well, then I'm going to let you know how bad you hurt me. Okay? How do I do that? By any means necessary. All right? That might not rub some of y'all the right way, but at this point, I don't care. I'm literally like sitting at the hotel now. I'm in my car, in my Jeep, and I'm sitting at the hotel waiting to go in, but I wanted to make this quick little 2-3 part video to address this and to say happy Mother's Day to all the mothers as well. So I don't know what else people want from me, because they're probably not going to get it the way they want it, and if it's laid on your heart to donate to my GoFundMe, then do that without calling me and giving me all this negative energy and stuff to weigh me down when I'm constantly fighting every day to keep myself out of what I call the dark place of depression, anxiety, all of that, PTSD, all of that. I have to deal with that stuff on top of still trying to maintain my health in my life. One of the brain tumors has wrapped itself around my carotid artery. That thing squeezed that artery one time, I'm into a major stroke. So I don't have time to go around pretending like something that's not. I know people might be out there doing crazy stuff, but don't look at me and say, well, because you don't look like it. That's the grace of God. How do we say, oh, we don't look like what we're going through, and y'all shout and holler, but when God actually puts somebody in your face with the kind of testimony that I have, then y'all say, oh, she ain't for real. Oh, she ain't for real. So either you believe God or you don't. You don't have to believe me. I don't care. So either you believe God or you don't. Either you believe that God is a God of miracles, signs, and wonder. All this, baby, is miracle, signs, and wonder. Because I'm still wondering why he keeps me here. So either y'all going to believe God with me, for me, or you not. Period. But all this, talking to me crazy and telling me about what people think and what people might be saying, don't do that. Don't ever text me. Don't ever call me with anything else like that, because it really, really, it does bother me. Y'all think stuff don't bother me because, I just look like stuff don't bother me. I cry. I hurt. I get broken by people. I just came out of a situation that totally broke me. Broke my mind, my heart, my body, my spirit, my soul, my mental, everything. So, but you didn't know that because I didn't go around looking like that. But I'm telling you, just because I don't look like what you expect me to look like, doesn't mean that I'm scamming. Doesn't mean that I'm perpetrating a fraud. Who in the hell would want to go around talking about they living with 2 different types of brain tumors? Who in the hell would want to tell people publicly that they lost their home? You all seen the videos I made. I showed you the video. I went live when they were putting my stuff out. So then how can anyone in their right mind have the audacity to call me, text me, or whatever, and say to me or suggest to me that I not say that I'm homeless, but I should say that I'm something else? Because looking at me, it looks like I'm trying to perpetrate a fraud or commit some kind of scam. And I'm not doing that. And I'm not going to keep explaining myself. So like I said, when you read my GoFundMe page, you go to GoFundMe.com, type in my name, Benita, Benita Bradley, Bradley. Read my story. I got pictures, I got videos. If you see me now, you know that's me in the pictures. You know that's me in the videos. Only difference is I'm probably much larger in the videos and the pictures because I was still sick. I was still going through surgeries. They were still working on 2 different types of brain tumors. I still had to go through radiation. If I seemed darker then, now I look light. I'm not bleaching my skin. You guys have no idea the stuff people say to me. And then I have to stay in this mindset that, okay, Benita, be nice. Okay, Benita, be kind to people. You know, and I'm trying. I'm absolutely trying. However, I don't want people to keep taking my kindness for weakness. I don't want people to keep thinking that I'm made by Mattel, like I'm a toy. Don't keep playing with me, you know, because peradventure, you catch me on a bad day, in a bad mood, and then I give you back what you're giving to me. Then, oh, I thought she was saved. Oh, I thought she used to be a pastor. I thought, she looks so nice, but she mean. No, I'm not mean. I get tired of people playing with me. Okay? And not expecting for me to have any type of response whatsoever, but, okay, sweetheart. Yes, go ahead and tell everybody I'm scamming. Go ahead and tell everybody I ain't really homeless. Go ahead and tell everybody I ain't really sick. Y'all see how that sounds? Sounds ignorant, doesn't it? So, I wanted to address that first, and then I got something funny to tell y'all. Hold on. Okay, I'm sorry. So I want people to know, just because people look a certain way, and you know what's funny? The most feedback or kickback that I get comes from Christians. Come from Christian people, black people. Yeah. And what makes me upset about that is that we have such a long history of believing God, trusting God, you know, waiting on God, you know, living for God, speaking for God. All of those things, being a testimony of what God can do, be a testimony of how we fell into hard times and then God brought us out, but he kept us in the midst of it all. We have a history of that. But then when it happens and God actually shows you that in your face, somebody you can physically touch, hug, love on, accept, experience, y'all don't want to believe it. Now, I bet if it happens to you, you want the whole world to rejoice. But because I may not be your favorite person, which I don't care, it's hard for you to reconcile that God chose me to walk this walk. God chose me to walk this 12-year journey out with 2 different types of brain tumors. Why? Because he knew he could trust me. You think I like it? I don't like it. I still ask God, why? Why me? Why? God simply said, because I trust you. I trust you. Now let me ask you this. Are you the kind of person that can go through 12 years living with 2 different types of brain tumors? I'm talking about strokes, you name it, all of it. Migraine headache, massive nosebleeds out of nowhere. Can you do that without false accusing God of being unfair and unjust and unkind and unloving and ungodly towards you? Can you do that? If you can do that, then God might trust you with something bigger than bumping your toe, with something bigger than, oh, they don't like me. This ain't child's play. What I go through ain't child's play. You got to be grown in God. Hear me well. You got to be mature enough in God to understand why in the hell would God allow me to go through so much hell and then lose my house on top of that? And I yet declare that he's still sovereign. I yet declare that he's still God. I don't always like him. I don't always like God, but I love him. I don't always know him, but I have to trust him. I don't always get what he's doing, but I still have to follow him. And so when you see people that look like me with my testimony, it's hard for you black Christians to believe it. It's hard for y'all to believe that all of this is going on right now. Right now, I got to go have 2 procedures done. 2. To make sure the fluid is not rebuilding on my brain. See, I think it's a game. This is my real life. This is my life. My real life. Y'all wasn't with me when I was blind. Before I started having all the surgeries, I was blind because those tumors were pressing against my optical center. The one that's still there now that they can't get to is right below it. So that's why they can't go in there and grab the rest of it. Because now it's touching too many different arteries and too many different nerves in there. It's right up on them. First surgery, they got first surgery, they got 75%. Second surgery, they got about half. And to avoid a third surgery on the first type of brain tumor, I had to go have that intense radiation. That still, I feel the effects of the fatigue, nausea, my hair shedding, all of that. So if you don't know, I prefer you ask me questions before you start running your mouth and telling me what you think other people are thinking, which is really what you're thinking. So if you're going to do that kind of stuff, have the testicular fortitude to say, well, this is what I was thinking. Don't put it off on people. Because when I talk to you, I'm not going to talk to you about people. I'm going to talk to you about how I feel about what you said, what you did, how we rolling together. Period. I'm not going to let myself go down the tubes looking like somebody who don't love God, looking like somebody who don't know God, and looking like somebody that God does not love. If that's what y'all waiting for, it ain't going to happen. Even when I'm in the hospital, I don't go to the hospital without lipstick on. I'm not going down without a fight. Keeping myself looking well is how I keep my mind well sometimes. You all don't understand because some of y'all don't want to admit the levels of depression you go through. I don't have a secret like that. I talk to you guys openly and transparently about my mental health. I'm so free in God. There is nothing anybody can do to me that will keep me in bondage. I promise you, sooner or later, I will come out. And when I come out, I'm going to come all the way out by any means necessary. It doesn't matter who I have to let go, what I have to do. I'm coming out. You might not like how I come out. And the only reason you won't like how I come out is because you're the one put me in the bondage. But I'm free. I love people. I love me. I love God. It's hard. It's extremely hard. I haven't been without sinuses since I moved into this hotel. Because in my home, I have air purifiers, everything that's essential to me staying well. My sinuses get so bad, it triggers migraine. Migraines triggers my blood pressure to raise up too high. So I have been dealing with sinuses since January 18, since the very day I moved into this hotel. Every day I have to take sinus medication. Every day I'm spraying stuff up my nose. Every day. Every day. Until I can get in storage and find out where my air purifier system is and bring it over here into this hotel room, I have to keep fighting sinus. I got sinus medication in my purse, sinus medication in the room. I have to keep stuff with me. I have to keep the second type of brain tumor. I have to keep the medicine with me. You know, I have to keep nausea medicine with me because I'm still in treatment. And it's like, you know, what y'all want me to do? Y'all want me to show y'all all my medications that I have to keep with me every time I leave to go somewhere? Is that what y'all want? Y'all want me to look like somebody off the streets or on the streets, and then me still declare that God is sovereign, still declare that God is a keeper, still declare that God is a healer, still declare that God is omnipresent? That is what you want? It won't happen. It's not going to happen, because I will not betray God that way. I won't do it. And if y'all want me to do it, y'all crazy as hell. Like, for real. I won't do it. I won't do anything that's going to cause God to withdraw his hands off my life. I don't care what I get myself into. I don't care if it's a sin I fall into. I'm coming out. I'm coming out. I'm coming out. Because God has been wonderful to me. He's been gracious and kind. That's why I tell y'all, be kind to people. You don't ever know what somebody going through. You know, you got your own opinion about what somebody else should or should not be doing, how somebody else should or should not look. This is me. This is the way I'm going to look. No filters, no nothing. This is just me. And if you got a problem with that, that's a you problem. That ain't a Benita problem. Okay? All right. So listen. Again, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, aunties, cousins, anybody that's ever carried a child, been pregnant with a child. Even if you've had a miscarriage, you're still a mother. The moment you conceived made you a mother. You know, I've had one miscarriage and I've buried one daughter. So I've lost two daughters. A lot of people don't know that. They think I only lost my firstborn daughter, but no, I also lost my lastborn daughter as well before I could even give birth to her. So yeah, so that was a very it was a very trying and dark time for me. Unfortunately, you know, I was in an abusive marriage, and that's what happened. So happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. And for those of you that are missing your mom, you know, be encouraged. Sometimes you have to wrap your arms around yourself and love on yourself, you know, especially single people. Okay, I'll make part 4 the last part, because I'll be talking about what I'm cooking. Well, I gotta cook. It's Mother's Day. So when you keep yourself looking good, you know, it does something mentally for me. So I'm not going to give the people what they want. You know that little song, got to give the people what they want. I'm not going to give the people what they want. If what you want is to see me my head bow down, crying all the time, I do all that in public, because that's my private time, and I don't have to share. I don't have to get on here, make videos of myself crying for you to be convinced that I'm actually in the situations that I'm transparent about being in. Again, if you go to GoFundMe.com, type my name in, Benita Bradley, read my story, donate if you can, but whatever you do, don't inbox me, don't call me, don't text me and say, oh, I read your story, but, you know, you don't look like, you don't look like you actually going through all of that. Don't do that. Don't do that, okay? Because that's going to upset me, and I'm probably, going to start holding you at bay, kind of like that. You know what I mean? Because that's a challenge I don't need in my life. I don't need someone challenging me on my life. You know what I mean? So, I would never, it's just not in me to scheme or scam or lie or anything like that, to get something or to be something that I'm not or what have you. That's just not in me. So the last thing I want to tell you guys about is funny. So I told you guys that my phone died. Couldn't even charge it. So I had to get another phone, and my numbers didn't transfer over. So the phone I got, there was a factory, how do you say, malfunction on that batch of phones. So the new phone died within like 2 or 3 months. So then I had to get another new one, that I didn't have to pay for, of course. So when I got that phone, which is the one I'm using now, a lot of my contacts didn't transfer over. So if you call or text and I'm like, who is this? I'm not trying to be funny or anything. It's because your number didn't transfer over. So, and sometimes a lot of people like to inbox me, and I'll say, okay, well, I lost your number, or your number didn't transfer, send me your number. Some choose to resend it, some choose to keep talking to me via inbox. That don't matter. So, so today, I got a phone call, and so the person was like, Happy Mother's Day. And that's all I heard. I didn't hear a man's voice or a woman's voice. I don't know. I don't know what I was doing. I was in between. I had just taken my shower. I was in between making myself get dressed and get out of the room. And I'm just going to stay in here today. I was in the middle of that kind of fight within myself. And so I just said, oh, thank you. Same to you. And then the person goes, girl, I ain't no mama. He's like, I'm not a mother. And I was like, oh, who is this? And so he told me who it was. I said, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Your number didn't transfer over. So he was like, you probably did that on purpose. No, I promise you, I didn't. So we were talking, and he's so funny. He's actually my ex-fiance, y'all. He's my ex-fiance and my daughter's father, my first daughter's father. So we still have a pretty cool relationship. Even though my daughter is deceased, we've always had a pretty cool relationship. And so we were talking, and somehow or another, having more children came up in the conversation. Not by me, of course. Dude, you're almost 60 years old. We can't replace what we lost, honey. I mean, you're almost 60. I'm 56. You know, we're not trying to replace our daughter. We just gonna, keep her in our hearts and love on her from here to eternity, till one day we get to be with her in heaven. That's the only hope I have. But to be our age and to get the offer to have another baby is wild. It's wild to me. So, but I do believe it was all in fun, To me, it was in fun. You know, he might have been serious, but to me, it was in fun. So that made me feel like, okay, let me get up and get out. That gave me a little pep in my step. So I was able to get dressed, and I ran over to Aldi's, trying to find some chips I saw with one of my little love cakes. She had some, she had these pickles chips, but she had spicy pickle chips, and she had them on Facebook. So me and her, we share a love of everything pickled. So I went to Aldi's and I got these. So maybe I overlooked the other kind or whatever. So maybe I'll go back when I have more time or whatever, because I thought it was going to rain. So I just grabbed what I saw and came on out. So maybe when I have more time, I might go back and try to find the other ones she had. I just want to let you guys know that I'm here. I'm okay. I'm still praying and believing God, you know, to open the door for my new home, for me to know that this is a temporary situation, but He's a permanent God. And so for that, I try my best to keep my head up. I try my best to keep my thoughts together, keep my mental together. When you don't see me, that's because I'm not dealing well with things. And like I said, I don't have to display my mental processes. I don't have to display when I'm weak in my faith. I don't have to display any of that. Just know it happens to me like it happens to anyone else. You know, the only difference is God's grace and His mercy. You know, He graced me with beauty. You know, He graced me with kindness. He graced me with everything that I am. Everything I have, God has graced me with it. You know, and so, yeah, sometimes when I'm angry or when I'm hurt deeply, I might go too far, you know, and my too far, trust me, is real far. So if I tell you, look, don't hurt my heart, don't play around with me, you know, I don't care if you're a friend, family, whoever you are, just don't do it, because you never know what might trigger somebody. You never know what might put somebody over the edge. So I want you guys to be careful with people as well, you know, because like I said, just because you see a face doesn't mean you've known all the places they've been to. You don't know what's going on in the heart and in the mind. You're just looking at the outward appearance, okay? And so I want you guys to enjoy the rest of your Sunday, the rest of your time with your family, and know that I love you and I appreciate all of you for your support, especially my day ones. Some of you been rocking with me from day one, from my first brain surgery in December 2016. You know, I just had my last procedure last year, July last year, I believe. So I want you guys to really, really stay tuned. All right. I love you. Bye-bye.